She began as a teacher in Leyte. She became one of the most effective Filipino guerrilla leaders against Japan. Nieves Fernandez, a schoolteacher from Tacloban in Leyte, lived an ordinary life before the Second World War reached the Philippines. Known simply as Maestra Fernandez, she taught basic literacy, arithmetic, and civic lessons in a modest provincial classroom. Her leadership style, calm, disciplined, and direct, earned her the respect of families throughout the community. No one imagined that this same teacher would later organize a resistance force and become a symbol of local defiance during the Japanese occupation. When Japanese forces invaded the Philippines in late 1941 and established control across the Visayas, life in Leyte changed abruptly. Patrols entered towns, enforced strict orders, and placed the population under fear and surveillance. Reports of violence and forced labor spread. For many residents, survival meant avoidance, silence, and endurance. Nieves, however, refused to accept the occupation as an unchangeable reality. She understood that civilians needed leadership, protection, and structure during a period when institutions were collapsing under foreign control. By 1942, she began assembling a small group of volunteers from Tacloban and nearby areas. These were not trained soldiers, but farmers, fishermen, and laborers who believed the community needed to resist. Under her guidance, this group eventually grew to around 110 men. Nieves organized them into a guerrilla unit, teaching them how to move through forests quietly, how to set up watch posts, and how to survive with limited resources. Her years as a teacher shaped her approach. Clear instructions, patience with inexperienced recruits, and careful attention to every detail of their environment. The unit operated primarily in the wooded areas surrounding Tacloban, where terrain offered natural protection. Nieves emphasized the importance of using the landscape, hills, bamboo groves, and dense trees to conceal movement. She also developed improvised weapons when ammunition was scarce. The group created homemade grenades and relied on bolos, a tool familiar to many farmers. Captured Japanese rifles were used sparingly, as ammunition could not easily be replaced. Despite these limitations, her unit became increasingly effective. Accounts from the period describe her leading ambushes against small Japanese patrols. These attacks were strategic rather than frontal, designed to disrupt operations, gather supplies, and show the occupiers that Leyte was not fully subdued. Her ability to plan rapid strikes and withdraw before reinforcements arrived helped her group avoid heavy losses. Over time, Nieves became known among American forces operating covertly in the region, who noted her leadership and the discipline of her men. A well-known photograph taken during this period shows Nieves demonstrating the use of a bolo knife beside an American soldier who documented local resistance activities. Japanese forces eventually became aware of her involvement and placed a bounty on her, hoping to weaken the guerrilla networks forming in Leyte. Despite the danger, she continued coordinating operations, gathering intelligence, and supporting civilians who hid from occupation forces. Her reputation grew not because she sought recognition, but because her efforts directly affected the morale and safety of local residents. Civilians who knew her before the war saw the same decisive teacher, now directing a resistance movement with the same clarity she once used in her classroom. When American and Filipino troops returned to liberate Leyte in late 1944, Nieves's group supported their efforts by providing guidance on terrain, identifying enemy positions, and assisting in small engagements. Her familiarity with the landscape proved useful in coordinating movements in areas outside major roadways. After the liberation, Nieves was officially recognized for her service and was honorably discharged as a sergeant in 1945. She returned to civilian life quietly, avoiding publicity and rarely discussing her wartime role. Yet her contributions remain significant to Philippine history, representing the role ordinary citizens played in resisting the occupation. Her story demonstrates that resistance did not depend solely on formal soldiers or political leaders. In Leyte, it emerged from a teacher whose belief in responsibility and discipline became the foundation for wartime leadership. Nieves Fernandez remains one of the few documented female guerrilla commanders in the Philippines, and her actions illustrate how determination and community loyalty can shape local history during times of conflict. Want to learn more about the hidden heroes of Filipino history? Subscribe now and continue on to explore the untold stories that shaped the nation's fight for freedom.